More than a dozen wildfires are still raging across Northern California this morning. The wildfires have killed at least 8 people so far, including 3 members of one family. 70-year-old Melody Bledsoe and her 2 great-grandchildren, 4-year-old Emily Roberts and 5-year-old James Roberts, died in their home on Thursday. Melody's husband, Ed Bledsoe, and his granddaughter, Amanda Woodley, join us now. Ed and Amanda, we are so sorry for your loss. We heard, Ed, your story, and it's just the most haunting, heartbreaking story that we've ever heard. I mean, that you were on the phone with your 5-year-old great-grandson, James, as the fire was moving in. Can you tell us what happened when you went to the doctor? You left the house to go to the doctor. Did you know how close the wildfires were at that moment?
Yeah, the fire was a couple of miles away from my house. It was plumb across the river. It wasn't nowhere near my house. And they didn't give no evacuation notices or nothing. They just, when my wife called me and I took off back up there, and when I got up there, there's traffic blocking the road all the way, but I got out and run towards the house, and I got down there, and some guy was blown over by the fire. I helped him get out, but I still went down there, and they stopped me and wouldn't let me go in. This is my baby. This is my wife. I should have been laying on there with them.
Oh,
I should have went regardless of what anybody said. The fire was just a big old fire tornado, and the fire didn't come across down towards my house. It come around the river and come in behind my house.
Yeah.
And the fire wasn't on the ground. My son lived next door. He pulled up to get out, Gary Baldwin, and when he opened the door to get out, his hair caught on fire and burned all the hair off his arms and took his breath.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, listen,
so he got
Ed,
back in the car.
Ed, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to stop to say, you know, everybody understands that feeling, your sentiment of your guilt or your devastation and feeling like you should have been there, but you can't fight nature. I mean, this is too powerful. These are still raging. You could not have done anything. I mean, that's what, you know, that's what all of us want you to know. This is too much. It's overpowering families. Amanda, can you explain to us, for those of us who luckily don't live in a wildfire zone, how hard it is to escape? What it is like when it encroaches in on a house?
Well, the anxiety, I mean, it's really scary. And from what Gary was saying, he tried to get out, and the tornado was hovering over the house. It hadn't even hit the ground. It was just a tornado fire over the house. And it took him a minute and a half to catch his breath, and he tried everything he could to. So there was nothing anyone could do.
And my son, Brian Bledsoe, he was coming up the fire on the other side, drove through a big old flame.
And we had a family on the other side trying to get in.
His wife was just screaming because the fire was around him, and she made him back up, which he should have anyway. He couldn't. There wasn't no way he could got into my house. It just sucked the roof off the house, and the walls fell out, and the roof went right back down on them.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that's what those of us who've never lived through a wildfire can't understand, is the tornado of fire that you're describing, that it's over your house, that it's spinning around your house, and that it could take the roof off of your house. I mean, these are things that our imagination can't even deal with, and that you all just witnessed.
We've never seen it. We've never seen anything like it. There's wildfires every year, but we've never seen it come into town. We've never seen anything like this.
Well, all the fire was across the street about a mile. You couldn't even, you could just see the smoke. You couldn't see no fire. And it was on the other side of Sacramento River. And we got a dam and a big old, like a lake in there. And so that's where they was watching to see if the fire was coming across, and it never did come across her. It went down the river, come around, come in behind us. And it just got us. It just I talked to Junior, and he just knew I was going to get in there and get him. He just said, Grandpa, I know, I'm holding on to Emily and Grandma. I said, we're waiting for you. I said, don't go in the back door, it's on fire. Come in the front door. I said, I'm on my way. I'll be there, honey. Just don't worry, Grandpa's here. I'm right down the road a little bit. I said, I'll be there. I just wanted to comfort him best I could.
I can't imagine what Grandma was going through staying calm. I mean, that's so brave. I mean, how can you stay calm? And, you know, Grandpa, you lulled them to sleep for their final time. It was peaceful. They just went to sleep, and you calmed them until they went to sleep. And I realized that yesterday, and that eased my heart a lot yesterday.
But I'm their protector. I should have had my damn buddy taken care of.
Oh, Ed, I think Amanda's right. I think the fact that you were on the phone with them and that they heard your voice and that you were keeping them calm, and there's nothing that you could have done when you got back to the house or had you been in the house. I mean, look at what you're describing, what all of your relatives.
I could have laid on top of them and protected them.
Ed, listen.
I could have laid down on top of them and kept them out of the fire.
Yeah, I understand it.
I could have done anything.
Nothing you could have done.
And then you would have died, obviously, Ed.
So, I could have maybe, my big old fat body would have protected them until the fire went out or something.
Oh, Ed, I don't think that that's how it works, you know? But I do think, Ed, that you make a good point that there were no evacuation orders. I mean, how would you have known to get everybody else out? You were watching the wildfires. I mean, how do are your neighbors all evacuated now? Why weren't there evacuation orders?
No, there's 6 people perished in it by my house, and 2 Caterpillar drivers died, and a firefighter died up there in it. It was so terrible.
I believe at that point, even the professionals were like, this is a beast. And
professionals, some of them were down the road a little ways, but it got them too, I guess.
Yeah, it just got out of hand so fast. It had its own weather system. It's just tragic for everyone. And we're sorry for the other family too, that lost people.
Yeah.
My son said the grass wasn't on fire, just the trees were getting sucked up in the air and burning, and it just, he said when he opened his door, the leaves hit him like somebody was slapping him.
Oh,
he said he got out and burned his hair, and he's burned all the hair off his arms, and caught his hair on fire on his head, and he started sucking his breath out, so he got back in his car and tried to get out. He did get out.
Oh, my gosh. It's unimaginable. I mean, what you're describing is so vivid for the rest of us because, you know, those of us who've never lived through a wildfire imagine a house fire. We know house fires. And sometimes, maybe, if you're lucky, somehow you can get out a window or you can go out a door. But with a wildfire, what you're describing, I mean, hearing you, Amanda, say that it has its own weather system and that it's a tornado. It's a fire tornado all around your house. And there's no escaping from that. And it's ripping the roof off of your house. And you are just completely helpless to that level of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And Ed and Amanda, we are praying for you. We're praying for your family. I want to point out to our viewers, you have a GoFundMe page. It's on, we're going to put it on the screen there. It's a GoFundMe page. It's up to more than $50,000 so far. And of course, all of this is to help your family and your great-grandchildren. Do you want to say a last word, Ed?
Hey, I want to tell you something. I want to thank everybody in this country for their support.
Yeah.
And love for not just us, but for everybody. People are so outstanding and so loving. I just want to thank them all. I want to hug them all.
Ed, and they want to hug you.
They do.
I just can't.
They do.
I want to thank them all. I want you to tell them all how much I love them. I thank them for all their support.
Yeah. Ed Bledsoe, Amanda Woodley, everyone is praying for you. Everyone is sending love to you. And of course, thinking of your 4-year-old great-granddaughter, Emily Roberts, 5-year-old James Robertson, your wife, 70-year-old Melody Bledsoe. Thank you for sharing your story. We'll be right back.